Rise and shine. It's cardio time. Well, it's not cardio time for somebody. Mr.
I've
Basil,
done cardio. You can fuck off.
Mr. Basil Brush, tell me what you've done.
Told you I've cleaned my teeth. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. There you are. That's cardio.
Yeah, but you haven't cleaned your bowl. Got to polish them. You know what I mean?
I polished them on your head yesterday when you were leg pressing.
Oh, is that what that fucking thing was on my shoulders?
Yep.
Yeah.
That was my trouser snake. That's why you got a sore shoulder this morning.
And you were saying to me, oh yeah, I'm just massaging your traps.
Yeah. Well, that's how effective he is. You know, could massage your traps while you were doing it. No, I have only done 2 cardio sessions, but I have done 2 cardio sessions.
Well, I let you off because you turned up to gym like a good boy, so that was...
Yeah, and it took me forever to bloody get there because of traffic jams, because Mr. Zach wants to train at... No, I'm going to train at this time.
Can we please stop complaining? You sound like fucking Victor Meldrew. You know, are you that fucking grumpy neighbor what we have to see every morning and say, oh, look at them kids having fun. Oh, in my days, and we didn't fucking do that. In my days, we didn't train like this. In my days, we didn't fucking do that. Is that you now?
Yes.
You turned into the person you didn't want to be.
Who said I didn't want to be? I spent my whole life trying to be this person.
Oh, is that your idol?
Yeah. I spent years honing this level of grumpiness.
It's fucking hilarious, isn't it, Dave? It's like, you know what? You know when you go to gym now and it's like young kids, they just irritate you, don't they, with some of the shit they do. All right, don't say it, don't fucking lie, tell it, tell the truth. Tell the truth.
The truth is, I generally ignore what's going on around me because I can't be arsed. But the weird thing about this industry and the bit I've never got is everybody asks about drugs, everybody asks about diet, nobody asks about training. Everybody assumes they know how to train.
Yeah.
And I am a big form advocate, but I'm a form advocate as a stepping stone to learning what works for you. You know, it's like when you learn to drive. You learn to drive by how a driving instructor teaches you. And then once you've passed your test and you're out, you start to develop your own style. Not always good because we get bad habits, and that's the same with training. But people don't bother learning in the first place. So if you've never been shown the best way of doing a movement, then how do you know you're doing it right? But nobody invests in learning how to train. Nobody spends any time honing that craft. And it's not that you have to have perfect form or you have to do X, Y, Z, but you start with that. You start by learning the foundation of perfect form on the exercise. And then from that, you start to use your own brain cells to work out what variation of that, if there is one. It may be that perfect form is just spot on for you, but you start to learn what works for you. I mean, people use Branch Warren. Well, look at the size of Branch Warren, and he has crap form. Yeah, but you're not experiencing what he's feeling. If he's engaging that muscle and feeling it in the muscle and the muscle's moving the load, then he doesn't have shit form. It's what works for him.
Yeah, but then tell me something then. There's a person who's fucking doing correct form to textbook, yeah? They're doing it fucking perfect. And why is it that if that person is doing correct form and he's got it down to a T, you see these fucking nerds there on Instagram showing correct form, everything looks perfect, but why they look like shit?
Do you have a problem speaking this morning? Is you...
No speaker anglais.
No, I know.
Yeah, so tell me, Mr. Know-It-All.
Well, no, it's not Mr. Know-It-All. Simple fact is they just don't train hard enough. You know, you can once you master how to do an exercise correctly, then it's necessary to apply effort to that. And I think a lot of people get lost in technicality and forget to just fucking train hard.
Yeah.
You'll
I.
see guys with shit form that
Mm,
progress because they train with intensity, but unfortunately that's a short-lived life because they'll either end up with injury or the progression will stop.
yeah.
You
I.
develop this foundation of shut up. I haven't finished. Right, stop
Okay.
interrupting. Just sit
Okay.
there and
Sorry.
shut up.
Sorry. Sorry. Sorry.
Thank you. You develop this foundation of good quality form. Then once it's like learning to run. You don't sprint full pelt till you've learned the technique. If you're trying to do something new, you learn the technique, and then once you've learned the technique, then you start to apply the effort, the speed, the power, whatever it is. And it's the same. No, shut up. We haven't finished.
No. No.
And it's the same with in a minute, Zachariah. It's the same with training. People get lost in technicality and just forget to fucking lift hard. Right, now you may speak.
Fuck me, Mr. Rand. Fucking come. Take a breather. Yeah. And
Oh, my heart feels bad.
when are you gonna learn to sprint? Sorry, I just had to get that in there, dude.
Look,
Listen,
Zach,
listen.
we
No.
can't defy the laws of physics here, all right? An
Yeah,
object
yeah.
with this much unusable mass does not
No,
sprint.
no. Listen, no, you're correct. All I was gonna say to you with that is, I see way too much technicality and not enough heart and balls in
Yeah,
training anymore.
and
Yeah,
it's a balance, and I think that's what
yeah,
people tend to do. One of the hardest thing about training is once you've learned how to do an exercise, it is developing that instinctive ability to know what works for you, and that's what a lot of people struggle with. They need reps, they need sets, they need a plan to follow because they either don't have the confidence or they just don't trust their own judgment enough. We don't particularly. I mean, when we train again, we're not training hard, and I've only just started
no,
doing a bit with you, but
yeah,
we don't count reps particularly.
no,
We'll bounce off each other now and again, but
yeah,
we generally it's more about how we feel in that set and whether we've got more in. We will back out of a weight if we're not feeling it because it's like, well, what's the point? I'm not getting anything from it.
yeah, and that's the thing about it all. It's like, you see a lot of people, they plan their training for the next 6 months. They'll say, oh, 4 weeks I'm going to go heavy, 4 weeks I'm going to do this, 4 weeks I'm going to have a deload. What the fuck are you on about, deload?
But
Like,
yeah, I mean, the other thing I hear this all the time as well. Oh, I'm feeling really sore, so I'm not recovering. It's like, well, hang on a minute. Are you getting stronger or maintaining your strength in the gym? Yeah, actually, I'm getting a bit stronger. Then you must be fucking recovering. So just the fact that you feel sore means that you're training hard for the first time in a while. Shut the fuck up and get on with it. The only time I would consider a deload or a rest period is if I was picking up injuries or niggles,
yeah,
or I'd plateaued, or worst case scenario, I'd actually started to regress with my strength. But if
and
I'm progressing either in quality of rep, number of rep, or weight loaded each week, and you can't do all the time, you're not going to get stronger every week, but you might find that, that I did the same reps, same weight, but the quality of the rep was much, much better. Then you are progressing. So it doesn't matter. I mean, the amount of times I've gone in and trained a body part which still been sore from the previous session, and it's been a better session. And people need metrics. They have to have numbers. They have to have reps or weight. They can't judge a workout on how well they engage the muscle or how fatigued they are at the end. And that's what they need to learn to do if they really want to progress.
yeah, because the thing what I see a lot is a lot of people base their progress on increasing weight and increasing reps, them two factors only. But the problem you've got there is you could be increasing weight and increasing reps, but your form could be getting shitter, and your mind and muscle connection to fatigue that muscle could be getting shitter because let's just say here somebody's getting stronger on chest, but after a certain weight you get up to 200 pounds, but then your triceps start doing the most of the lifting, and it's not your chest because it's natural for your body to adjust your body mechanics to lift more, and you start bringing your elbows more in and start using more your triceps. So I see so many people where they say to me, oh my god, my chest won't grow, but his fucking triceps are the size of a horseshoe. I said to him, maybe you need to stop bench pressing and start doing exercises what do not allow your triceps to come into play. So start doing something like flies. Do you know what I mean? Pre-exhaust, pre-exhaust. Maybe try fucking training your triceps first before your chest.
You,
Because
you,
it's obviously you're training, your triceps are taking over your fucking chest.
you've got to understand that the object of training is to stimulate change within the target muscle. It's
Yeah.
not to move this weight for this many reps. It's not to do this many sets. They are metrics you can help to measure, but they aren't the objective of the workout. The objective of the workout is to stimulate change. And you do that by stimulating and fatiguing the muscle. There's no point, and you get this a lot, and this is it's not a perfect example in the sense that the numbers aren't right, but it's a good example. A lot of people, when they bench press, will probably only use 50 to 60% of their pec. As in, the weight that they're moving, there's only 50, 60% of that weight actually loading the pec. The rest is delts and triceps.
Yeah.
Now, if you're doing 200 pound, so you're only getting 110 pound loaded on your chest, then you're better doing 150 pound and having 130 pound of that loading your chest and having less wear and tear on your joints, but actually getting more muscular stimulation. But the average trainer will see that as regression. They'll see that as going backwards. Oh, I've got less weight on the bar. But there's more of that load hitting your chest now. So actually, you're stimulating your chest more and you're going to get better growth. And long term, because out of the three major muscles involved with bench press, i.e. chest, shoulders, and tries, the chest is the biggest. It's got the biggest potential for growth and it's got the biggest potential for strength. Yeah. So the bigger you get your chest, the stronger you get the chest, the bigger your bench is going to be. But people see that weight regression as being a negative. Well, if the effective load on the muscle is greater, then it's not. And once you start doing that, you'll find your progress increases because now the effort you're using in the gym is actually hitting the muscle you want it to hit. And you end up stronger.
Yeah, it's like perfect scenario is like I've trained where I've done like I've beat my record on bench press. I've done 5-plate bench press, and the next day I'm expecting to be sore as fuck. And I woke up and I've got no DOMs. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? I've had a fucking good heavy session. But then a couple of weeks later, I will be doing 3.5 plates bench press, and I'll be getting better reps out on that, and my chest will be fucking annihilated. So that just tells you that me doing 3.5 plates were hitting more my chest than me doing 5 plates where everything else were taking over.
Yeah, and then what you do is you work on the style that you were using and the form you were using on 3.5 until you get back up to 5 plates, and then you're going to have a very big chest.
Yeah, and I think the problem what we got now is, because of social media, it's been happening since, social media has been kicking off in the last 10 years. It's like a lot of bodybuilders are training like powerlifters. And stop yawning and put a cock in your mouth.
Yours isn't big enough.
What we'll do, I'm going to edit it in, so that's going to be a good fucking picture.
Mr. Well, you're going to educate a bit. What, they're going to put that in the picture?
Yeah.
You better do a zoom in option.
Well, at least I've got one, Mr. Manhole.
Look, you just can't see it for the belly hanging over it. All right, leave it alone. It's shy. It just doesn't like you. You keep trying to get it to come out and play, and it doesn't like you.
I fucking don't want to see it. Okay.
Then stop sending me those messages.
Oh, them fucking messages. The messages are saying, stop putting it on my shoulder.
Shut up, P. Diddy.
You want some baby oil? Oh, mate. Fuck me, that's mental, isn't it? It's fucking mental.
There's so much shit floating around. The thing is, it's so hard to know what's got any truth to it and what's not because there's just so much shit floating about.
Have you heard now this that we had had a GHB in the oil.
Surprise.
But how would that work, though? How would that work?
I'm not. Yeah, I don't know if GHB can be absorbed
Could you
through
imagine? Could you
tropical.
imagine? Could you imagine like a me massaging GHB oil on your belly? You'll fall asleep.
Conflicted now
Ah, fuck's sake.
because I wouldn't mind a massage, but not from you.
Not from me,
No,
exactly. Yeah, no, yeah.
no.
So yeah, so like I said, Dave, it's like, come on now, like let's set out some rules for people who need to fucking work on their form and work on intensity. At what point does somebody have to bring tempo into place? At what point would you tell somebody to do like 5 slow reps down and 5 slow reps up? At what point would you tell somebody to start off that way?
I like to use TUT with clients a lot because it teaches them one to control. The thing is, what a lot of people do is they'll explode a rep out the start range, and what happens if you have this big contraction and then you coast through the rest of the rep? Now, my opinion is that when you're handling a weight, you should be able to stop at any point in that movement and go the opposite way.
Yeah,
And if you can do that, you've got complete control.
Yes, that's what
If you
I
can't do that, you're not controlling the weight and you need to learn to. So I like to use TUT because it teaches people a couple of things. It forces them to control the load throughout all of the range.
Yeah,
But it also gets them to feel how the muscle feels when it's working. I think a lot of people aren't comfortable with being in pain, and you need to really get comfortable with being in pain because if you're working a muscle correctly, it's going to hurt you. It's going to be painful. Once you've got that feeling where you can pick a weight up, you can do that movement, and you can feel the target muscle working, then you can start to focus on trying to increase the load. Now, this is where you can start using things like cheat reps and a little bit of momentum because, in my proper training days, I would be strict on a bent over row, and I would go up in weight each set, and I'd be strict, 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 and then I'd start to get into weights where I wasn't as strict, but I could still feel it. I could still feel the muscle working, so that weight was okay. And then I may go up again, and I might actually get quite sloppy, but I'm still feeling it in my back, so it's okay. But never did I account that sloppy set was a proper set. I always recognized it as a very loose set, and I would always pull it back to a lighter weight and strict to finish off. If, however, on my way up, I started moving into the slightly looser form, and I wasn't feeling it in my back, then I wouldn't push any heavier. I'd either stay there and get it so I felt it, or I'd come back down. And I think that's you've got to learn to judge what's going on and make that call while you train. We did it yesterday. I wasn't feeling hamstrings. We went light. I tightened it back up so I could actually feel the leg. I could have got more reps out in that set, but they wouldn't have been a good quality, and I wouldn't have felt my hamstrings working. So I pulled it back to make me feel my hamstrings working rather than push for more reps, which would have looked good on numbers, but was going to do nothing for the engagement I was trying to achieve. So
the problem was yesterday. The reason why you tightened it up was you realized I went a bit heavier than normal, and you fucking shit yourself.
Of course, definitely, yes, definitely, yeah.
So you thought, fuck me, this was heavy, and you couldn't do as many reps as me.
Well, no, but then I'm natural and you're on 5 grams a week, so that's obviously why.
5 grams of cocaine?
Yeah.
Woo! Woo!
That's probably more believable. But no, you need to break into new boundaries. You need to break into new plateaus of weight. You're not going to step up in weight in super strict form. Yes, it's going to be a little bit loose, sometimes even quite loose. There's nothing wrong with that as long as you're still feeling it where you want it. If you're just moving a weight and you're not feeling anything anywhere, then you've got to start to question, is there a point in that? Yeah. I remember the first time I squatted 7 plates, I got up with that weight on the bar, and I'd been doing 6 for sets of 6 and 8 for weeks, and I'd step back with 7, and then I'd rack it again because it didn't feel right, and then I went down and I dumped it. And it was weeks and weeks of pissing around with that until I actually had the confidence to go with the weight. And and I would step up in a weight, say in bench press, and it would be not the best form, and then I wouldn't increase the weight then, and I'd tighten the form over the following weeks until now I was using good form with that weight, and then the weight would get pushed up again. So there's all sorts of ways of moving forward, and there's nothing wrong with having some looseness in those top end sets, but it's
So
always got to be backed up by this quality.
yeah, so basically you're trying to say is like if somebody who's starting off training, TUT, time under tension, is important for them because they need to able to recognize the importance of controlling that weight from the top of the movement to the bottom of the movement and back to top of the movement. So until they figure that out mentally, how it feels, like you said, so you like you just basically say, if somebody's bringing the bench press bar down, they should be able to stop it at any point when you say stop to them. And if they can't do that, they're not in control of it. So so once they get that right, that part right of how to control the weight, then they need to understand. They need to start feeling the pain. They start need to bring the intensity into it because intensity is going to make you grow. But what I find is that too many people are too bothered about time under tension, counting their reps, and they're not focusing on their muscle. So they've gone overboard with everything else, and basically they're not concentrating on the muscle. All I see now in the gym is, you know what I see in the gym now? Everybody squeezing, holding, contracting, and they don't even realize the most important part of the movement is the fucking stretch.
It's like anything, things get overdone. I mean, like I said, TUT is a great tool, but it's not the be all and end all.
Yeah, so who's to
Um,
blame for this? Are you to blame?
well, I use it a lot with clients, but I don't prescribe it as an end all. I
Yeah,
mean, I would be at points where, for argument's sake, on quads I was pushing load, I was really pushing into heavy boundaries. On back I was more form focused. Then on chest I might be doing TUT at the time because I'd lost that connection because I'd been pushing heavy for a while and that connection had gone.
yeah,
So I'd have different body parts at different stages of training depending on what the body part was telling me when I was training it.
yeah.
And I think people are just so regimented in I've either got to follow the logbook or I've got to do X, Y, Z or I've got to do this. And it's like, oh, the plan says I've got to bench press. Well, do any movement that replicates how your body moves in that movement. So it can be a machine press, it can be a dumbbell press. The body doesn't know bench press. What the body knows is that upper arm being pulled up by the pec.
Yeah, that movement.
So as long as you replicate that movement, it doesn't matter what exercise you pick, as long as that movement is replicated. And that's, I think, people just get so stuck on following instruction because they're either too scared to actually believe and think for themselves, or potentially they're just not capable of it. I don't know, but I mean, the last 4 years of my training, I didn't count a rep or a set.
I
It
think the
was
problem.
all
Yeah,
instinctive.
yeah. And that's what I believe in. Instinctive training. Instinctive training is the most important. And the other problem what you've got is the you know when you're when you're working with clients, they expect you to know everything about their body, guessing it and everything. But if they don't tell you what's going on, how they're feeling, and what basically is that movement making them sore? Is that movement not making them sore? They expect you to know everything, but this is where a client has to open his fucking mouth and say, "Oh, that hurts my shoulder. That doesn't feel right." This, so you need to change it for them, and it's a two-way fucking relationship with coaching.
Yeah. Yeah, you do need to talk as a client, as someone who's being coached.
Yeah.
Your coach is there to support you. You need to ask questions. You need to feedback information to them. Don't change things. Say to
To
them,
know, yeah,
this, I'm struggling with this, or I'm struggling with that, or I have a problem with this. Ask for alternatives.
yeah,
Obviously, the further you move away from the ideal, the more impact that's going to have on how you progress. So as long
yeah,
as you accept that level as well, but there are multiple ways to approach progress. It doesn't have to be one set way. A
yeah.
coach may prefer a certain way for whatever reasons. We all have our own style of doing things. But a decent coach will also be able to apply different techniques to you if what they're doing for you doesn't work.
Yeah, exactly. Because the thing about it is, at the end of the day, each person what comes to you is gonna come to you with different issues, different weaknesses. You know what I mean? And it's our job as a coach to assess him and look at him and think, oh yeah, this is what he needs to do. I'd rather work with somebody, yeah, and him for him to master one exercise like bench press there, and instead of doing like 10 different exercises where he fucks up on them all. But the problem you what you've got is too many fucking people want to change their workouts too fucking quick. They
Oh,
don't realize,
I use basically the same workout for 10 years.
yeah,
I would have variations on certain weeks. You know, I mean, I might go in one week and I just know it's not there, so fuck it, we'll get a superset today.
yeah,
Just because I know I've not got what I need to perform that way today. And you would know very quickly within your first few sets if you were going to have a bad day. But yeah, I mean, I might change the exercise order around, but I used pretty much the same workout for 10 years. I didn't change it at
so
all. Didn't need to.
so so do you use handles on fucking them D handles on lat pull down machines? Do you use D handles on T-bar? Do you use D handles on fucking chest press?
You know what? They weren't even in the fucking gym to do it with.
Can you tell me why are people putting handles on top of handles?
I can see where using a D handle on a split cable pull down, so two cables,
Yeah,
allows you to sort of really position where you want your arms to go. So that I
yeah,
can see some use in that. The same with a low pull, if it allows you to, because you want your hands in line with your elbows and you want your elbows tucked into your side. A fixed bar won't always allow you to be at the width you need to be. So D handles will help that. But
yeah, but how
it
much
seems to
bar?
be that they're just used for the sake of it in a
Yeah,
lot. I mean,
yeah,
there's people. The problem is people see someone using a piece of equipment with a certain grip or a certain handle, and they see that person have a high level of development and think, oh, it's because they're doing that. It's
yeah,
not the exercise, it's the execution of the exercise that's making them grow. If by using this grip or this attachment, you get really good engagement with the muscle, fucking crack on. But if you're doing it for the sake of it, because XYZ does it, well, make
yeah,
it work. And if it doesn't work, move on to something else.
yeah. But you tell me exactly how many of these people have been doing that same exercise for 6 months before they can even say it doesn't work.
There's that as well. But yeah, I mean, and it doesn't matter. We go back to the intensity thing. You know, however technically correct you are, however strict your form is, however good your engagement is, you still need to work hard. You still need to push that muscle to failure. You still need to go where we naturally don't want to go. You know, we don't naturally move towards pain. We move away from it.
Yeah, yep. Too many
You know, no
pussies.
one likes being hurt.
Yeah, you
Well,
do.
you do
You
in the
do.
bedroom, but that's a different story.
Oh,
Um, so you know, it's you've still got to deal with that. You can't get around that. I
no.
mean, you can compensate. You have two choices. You have volume
Yeah,
or you have intensity. It's not quite technically correct, but a really simple way of explaining this is a muscle tends to use the surface fibers first. And then it will dig deeper and deeper into the muscle for more fiber recruitment, whether the surface fibers are fatigued, whether the load is too much for the surface fibers to cope with. Um, And so I've always preferred the intensity route where I'm recruiting more and more muscle fiber because the effort I'm placing on the muscle to do is greater. But you can do a volume approach. There's a limitation there. I mean, you still need to use a reasonable amount of weight, but you can also stimulate deeper fiber by just doing more volume. You get bored with volume. I find it tedious. I find I can't concentrate because it's just too long.
yeah,
I prefer a slower rep tempo, still probably about the same amount of time under load,
yeah,
but just a more controlled, more engaged mentally with the movement I'm doing and lower reps. But
yeah,
it's what if you don't have the stomach for being in pain, if you don't have the stomach pushing the boundaries when it comes to that style of training, then volume is where you're going to have to go.
Yeah, but do some people just fucking do volume because they don't like pain?
Yeah, of course, some people will just avoid it, but
Yeah.
you tend to find with that sort of people when they do the volume, it's a numbers game.
Yeah.
They're not making every rep count. They're just throwing reps out.
Yeah, they just want to reach 20 reps or 30
Yeah, through it. Yeah,
reps or whatever.
again, the target's the number when the target should be the muscular damage.
No, the thing should be, listen, I'm aiming for 20 reps, but I don't want to reach 20 reps. I want to be fatigued before fucking 20 reps. So hopefully I'm fatigued by fucking 12, 13, 14. You know what I mean? That would be a good spot for me.
But the other thing is that you want to make sure you're feeling every rep, and if that's not happening and you're just pumping numbers out, you're being very unproductive. I suppose my approach to training is about efficiency. It's about getting the maximum stimulation out of the effort you put in. Now, I like working on a max effort format, but it's still about getting the maximum return for the effort you put in. If you're throwing 20 sets of 20 reps around, you're just doing the numbers, you're not going to get anything back for that energy you're expending because you're not really stimulating the muscle you want to stimulate. You're just moving a load.
Okay.
And there is a difference, and it's getting people to understand that difference.
Yeah, so explain to somebody, and what would be your efficient way of doing it a set then? For maximum recruitment. So just say there's a dickhead A who wants to do fucking 5 sets, five sets of 20 reps there. But for me, I've got a problem with that person because if he's doing 5 sets of 20 reps there and he's getting 20 reps on each set, number one, he's not going heavy enough each fucking set if he can do that on every set. So for somebody, you want to explain to them, you want maximum efficiency to gain muscle. How would you what's it now? Explain that to somebody
Approach that.
Yeah.
So I would always use the exercise I'm doing as my warm up.
Yeah.
I would start probably very light.
Yeah. Just example. Imagine you're doing bench press. Yeah. Your maximum weight on the bench press is 300 pounds. So how would you approach that 300 pounds?
Well, I'd probably go in. First set would be the bar alone.
Yeah.
And I would close my eyes and I'd be very, very concentrating on how the muscle was moving, how the body was moving. Yeah. Reps would be anywhere from 8 to 15 because it's more of a feel thing. It's like, right, yeah, okay, everything's feeling nice. Then I'd go up to a plate aside. Rep ranges would be anywhere between 8 and 12. Again, it's a bit more of a feel thing. So let's say we go 315 because that's 4 plates, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Is it? No. Yeah. No.
Yeah. No.
That's 3 plates. 3 plates,
yeah,
right.
3 plates. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'd probably go a plate for the next set. Then I'd probably go a plate and a 15 for the next set. Yeah. Then I'd probably go 2.5. And then I'd go 3. And I'd have a set. I had 2 sort of set rules. If I complete a rep, I'll always go for another. Now, if that only meant I got the negative, and if it meant I got the negative and I sat at the bottom and pushed for a few seconds and got nowhere, fine. But I would always go until I could not physically cope or get another rep. So now, failure. Yeah, proper failure, but positive failure. Now, if I'm on a bench, obviously I need a spot. If I don't have a spot, I'd use dumbbells because then I can just drop the dumbbells.
Or a machine.
Or a machine, yeah. So I would have a way of getting around that. Would have my final set, I usually work in the 6 to 8 range. Yeah. And it's more, it's 2 things. It's the amount of time I can spend under a load with that maximum effort, maximum concentration before things start to get difficult in the sense of focus. Mm-hmm. If I'm starting to do heavy weights at like 10 and 12 reps, I lose focus, whereas I can concentrate because I am really thinking about what I'm doing. If I achieve my target rep, be it 6, be it 7, be it 8, be it 10, then I would continue to have failed, and then the next workout, that weight would increase. So the next time I train chest, I would go 2.5 plates, and then I go 3 plates and a 5.
Yeah.
Then when I got up to 3.5 plates, the jumps in between would change slightly. So I was always trying to keep these jumps even. I'd always have one heavy set to failure, and then I would always reduce the load, and this would initially start with a 40% reduction, and then I'd go to failure again. But that back offset would again have a rep target, usually somewhere between 12 and 15. If I achieve that rep target, that weight would go up the next session. So now what I've got is 2 progressive sets, one heavy, one lighter with more focus on form. When I'm hitting my target numbers, the weights are going up. And so it might be that my back offset ends up only being 20% less of my max. Or it might be at a certain point, it's 50% less of my max, depending on how things are going. So it's not a rigid thing. Yeah. I use the 40% as a start point. Now, if I broke form on my heaviest set because I'm pushing hard, then I wouldn't, even if I got the 6 reps or the 8 reps, the target, I wouldn't up the weight until I brought the form quality up. So the next session would be same weight, same reps, but better quality reps.
Yeah.
And then once I'd established those reps as good quality, then I'd push the weight back up.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. And I think that's what a lot of people don't do, and they don't analyze it. They just work on one thing, it's weight, or like you said, reps, and they don't realize, they don't be honest about their form. And
that's the other thing, is people don't train to failure. They train until the point where they think they can't get another rep.
But do you think some people just train over failure, which is stupid?
Few. Genuinely, you'll find younger lads with a training partner goading each other on, and it can get a little bit silly. I mean, they've got youth on their side, so their recovery is as good as it's ever going to be.
No, what I'm saying is, like, imagine like I'm bench pressing, doing 10 reps. I can't do the last rep no more, so I bring it up further as I can. Then it drops back down. Then I keep moving it until I can't move it. Is there any point in doing them last fucking 10 reps what are not even full?
I think partial reps have a place. I think the thing is, I mean, I tried to keep the pace pretty good yesterday, and so when you got off, I got on, and there were a bit of fucking about because it was one of them days. But we tried to keep a good pace. Yeah, we tried to keep a good pace.
Yeah,
I think if you're maintaining a good training pace, if you decide on your first exercise you're going to do a shitload of partials at the end of your failure, it's only going to carry over that when you get onto your next exercise, you're going to be more fatigued.
Yeah.
You know, you have a limitation of how much you can do if you're not taking an extended rest period. So as a result, it's sort of self-managing, because you will get to the point where it's like, I can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Fucked. Yeah, I just can't do it anymore.
Yeah. And do you think, is that the point where you need to be, where you can't contract your muscle no more?
To an extent, I think you have to be. I'll tell you a trick I use with clients. So I put clients on TUT.
Yeah.
So I get them used to feeling the muscle, and it can get quite obsessive then, because you want to feel the muscle working when you're training.
Yeah.
And then what I do is I significantly reduce the volume.
Yeah.
So they don't have as many sets now, but it forces them to become much more efficient with the set work they do, because they're not allowed to do extra.
So you pre-exhausted them.
Well, no, so we do the TUT work, we get the connection working, it's a moderate volume, then I pull the volume right back, and it's like, so now you've only got 12, 15 sets total for chest. That's it.
Yeah.
If you can't hammer your chest in those 12, 15 sets, tough shit. Go home, know you've had a shit day, and you'll have to wait till the next time you change chest. And what that then forces people to do is value every set. The sets then become precious because they know they've not got a lot of them. Then they start becoming much more efficient and making those sets work for them, because there is no other opportunity. If I don't make it work in these sets, I've got nothing else to do. Don't allow them to do extra. So it's like, if you have a shit workout, tough fucking shit, go away, come back and learn to be more efficient in what you're doing.
And be more mindful in how much weight you're using as well then.
Everything, yeah. And so when you restrict volume, it forces you to get everything you can out of the sets you do. And then once that's got somewhere, then you have to just start trusting your own judgment a little bit. It's like, right, I've done my 15 sets on chest, and I know I've not hit it as hard as I can. So I'm going to throw in 2-3 sets of cable crossovers just to finish the fucker off. And then but in the reverse might be you're 10 sets in. It's like, I'm fucking done. The connection's been so amazing today. Yeah. My chest is completely trashed. And you know this from legs. When it hits right, that one set can just fucking destroy you.
Yeah, it's like straight away, like now when I do leg extension, I feel it straight away. Do you know what I mean? It's like compared to before, it used to take me like 5 sets to start feeling it. Like soon as now, like I jump onto leg extension, straight away connect. And that's where you need to be. You need to be able to connect. And that's why people have weak body parts. And the reason is it's hard to connect with them weak body parts. And this is what we have to learn to connect more. The reason that body part is weak is only one reason: you can't connect to it. And this is where you have to learn to connect. And like you said, time under tension is a tool for you to learn to connect to that muscle.
It shouldn't be forever and a day. It's a tool you bring in and out when you need it. Yeah.
Exactly. Like you said, there's some days you can feel everything's going beautiful, and you can just fucking lift any amount of weight and it feels great on the muscle. And there's days when you just can't feel it.
And you're fighting for every rep and every set, and you're just like, I can't connect, I can't. And you've just got to work around those days. And the thing is, the more training techniques you learn and the more time you spend learning how to train, the more tools you then have in your bag to use when you're having a bad day. You can do different things to get something out of that workout. A different workout is not necessarily a good one. It's not necessarily a bad one either, though. It's and then you get people who want to change their workouts every 3 weeks, and it's like, well, yeah, it's up to you, but I don't understand how you're. I mean, I think it's something stupid like 10,000 reps for your body to learn a movement.
Yeah. No. I always say to somebody, listen, it's like this, you go to university and you want to be a computer programmer. By the time, first year you're going to be a shit computer programmer, but after 4 years of doing a degree, you're going to be a decent one and you're going to have a degree at the end of it. It's the same fucking way in training that body part.
No one bothers to learn. This is where it all falls down. Yeah, when's the last time someone messaged you and said, how do you train your... I mean, all right, we're going to say forearms because they're huge, even though you don't do any training on them. But, when's the last time someone's messaged you and specifically asked how you train a body part?
They never do, because they all want to know what I'm taking.
And that's 5 gram, right? You've heard it here, 5 gram.
Ooh. Yeah, so like I said, that's been a good conversation today, Dave, for people out there, because a lot of it, we're coming to that. The thing is, there's so much shit out there, and people need to listen to people like you, like us, to give them the fucking real deal, no bullshit advice, because a lot of people are just fuffing around and fluffing around.
Trust me, when you learn how to engage a muscle, it never leaves you.
No.
Never leave. I mean, I don't fucking train. I've started doing legs with Zach on a Friday, and that's it. All right, that's the amount of weight training I now currently do.
Well, you're doing something, which is good.
No, but my point is, you could do any exercise on any body part, and I would feel it straight away. Yeah. Because that engagement has never left me. I learned it. It's ingrained in me, and it will never leave me. So once you've learned it, every exercise you ever do is always going to be more productive because you know how it feels and how to make it work for
you. Yeah. Listen, fuck this training shit. They don't want
to. It's crap anyway. Just eat cake.
This fucking training shit is shit anyway. Listen, so what you...
Half implants.
Yeah. Just fucking... It's simple. Easiest fucking way, mate. Just inject simple. Walk around like a Michelin tire, man.
Is that what you put in your head?
In my fucking head down here, yeah.
Like in that big fucking melon thing you carry on top of your neck.
See that? You think I need Botox? Yeah.
You need a fucking slap. Right, what do you mean need? Okay, let's not, Mr. Already doing Botox.
I'm not already doing Botox. How can I be doing Botox?
Oh, he protests too much.
No,
You know what they say about owners looking like the dogs?
Bugsy, have you heard him? He's offending you. He's saying, I look like you. You know what I mean?
I'm sorry, Bugsy.
Yeah. So, listen. So, do you think I need... Do you think... Huh?
Right, of the list of things you need, let me see. Personality.
For fuck's sake.
Character.
You know you. You know you. I swear
Friends.
to God. I swear to God. Get doing fucking cardio today. You fucking gonna do cardio today.
Oh, I'm not now, just because you've said so.
Yeah, you know, and you know what? Next week in gym, it's gonna be fucking 30-second on, 30-second off.
You're not training next week at gym.
Why?
Because you're having your shoulder chopped apart.
For fuck's sake. Oh yeah, guys. Fucking hell. I have to get fucking my other shoulder done, so get that fucking sorted. But I still can train legs after the week after. You know.
So you can you put any load on your shoulder, or is it going to be? It's going to be leg press and leg
Yeah, it's
extension.
gonna be leg press, isn't it?
Yeah, fine. Well, as soon as you're ready, let me know.
Oh, but I am gonna be fucking ready because
I'll
I know
come and show you how it's done again.
Listen, Mr. P Diddy.
That's you, baby oil boy.
All right. What you up to today, anyway?
I've got reports to do.
Fucking like
I
a
need
head
a
teacher.
piss.
Like a head fucking teacher, aren't you? Reports.
I've got reports. I've only got a couple actually.
Yeah.
And then I think that's it. Oh, boss is here now.
Are you going anywhere this weekend?
I've got a client to train tomorrow morning. Then I may be going to Silverstone to watch the.
Look at you. Fancy, are we?
Fucking hell, City Cup. It's the cheapest budget racing there is, but we sponsor a team. But to be honest, I don't know if I'm going to have time to get down there now. So we'll have to just see.
You will fucking get time. You
shut up.
You fucking.
Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah.